Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Cynthia, and I thought could talk a little bit about, in this Ramadan Rubies, about Surah Waqia, chapter 56, verse 7 through 10. So something that we learn about in chapter 56, verse 7 through 10 is about the way in which people are entering on the Day of Judgment. So we have those who are standing on the left, those who are standing on the right, and then those who are of the foremost. So these three groups of people and what we can learn about them, and we are pulling from Tafsir of Ibn Kathir today. Something that we learn is that those who are on the left are described as miserable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran in this verse. And then those who are on the right are among the righteous. And then those who are the foremost are the very foremost. So what does that mean? That means that people are generally about three different groups of people. We're going to either be among those who are the wicked, be among those who are generally good, or be among those who are the righteous of the righteous, the forerunners of the faith, as-sabiqun wa-sabiqun. These are the ones who are going to be excelling in this life and the next, inshallah. So I think what we wanted to talk about is how can we be among those who are going to be excelling in the next life, inshallah, and excelling in this life? How do we get beyond being just the average Muslim and being someone that is excelling, and inshallah we get reunited in Jannah to be among the forerunners? And I hope to see you there, and I hope if you don't see me there that you ask for me and that we ask for one another. Another thing that we can kind of connect back to these verses is like, well, how does someone become a forerunner of the faith? What is it that makes people shaded on the Day of Judgment in such a special way? And we can actually pull from another hadith that we find in Sahih Bukhari about the seven shaded by Allah's throne on the Day of Judgment. So we'll talk about what these seven groups are. 1 is a just ruler, 2 is a pious youth, 3 is a lover of the masjid, 4 is those who love, meet, and depart for the sake of Allah, 5 is those who resist temptation and guards his chastity, 6 is those who spend in secret charity, and 7 is those who cry at the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private. So those are the 7 groups. Something that I think is so beautiful about these is that some of these are public good deeds and some of them are private good deeds. It means that nobody is left out and everybody has an opportunity. And I find that so beautiful because it means that everybody has an opportunity to be among one of the 7 groups that could be shaded by Allah's throne in Day of Judgment. And I think that's so incredibly beautiful. I also think there's so much wisdom to the first section being about the just ruler, because what does being a just ruler mean? It's actually really difficult, and actually all the other categories can be followed suit in a community where there is a just ruler, where we are able to be good leaders, good community leaders, regardless of what organizations we're involved with, what we're a part of. Are we among those that are just leaders? Are we kind? Are we compassionate? Do we make space for others to be good leaders as well? Are we those who attach our hearts to the space of a masjid? Just remembering that a masjid is still the house of Allah. That's where we keep our hearts attached to. Are we among those who are able to cry in private when in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? You know, like even Abu Bakr was described to be among those who had like tear stains under his eyes just because of how much he would cry in remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private. And he's a great example of somebody who was a just leader outside, but then also privately cried in the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we get these beautiful examples in our seerah, we get these beautiful examples in Islamic history about the ways in which someone can be among those that are able to be covered by Allah's shade on the Day of Judgment. So connecting back to that verse in Surah Waqia, it's really interesting to see again the way in which people are going to be entering. And it's also described that those who are going to be the people muttaqeen, or the people of piety, are going to be riding versus walking, which is really cool too. I think, inshallah, if we're able to visualize the difference between just an average Muslim to being one that excels, and we put things into our life that makes us among those who can be shaded by Allah's shade, on a day in which there is no other shade by Allah's shade, that inshallah we can be among those who will get to enter Jannah as the forerunners of the faith. And we make dua that we can be of those with ihsan, those who excel in character and those who excel in action. I hope this was of benefit, and I hope you enjoyed this reminder. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.